2015 has been a pretty incredible year for me. Not only did I move, but this channel, which used to be absolutely nothing, has exploded into 7,600 plus subscribers, and I still don't even know how or why. But yet, here you guys are, and I made you guys a promise not too long ago. I said I'd do a Q&A video, and I figured it would be easy, and boy was I wrong, because I don't use a typical setup for recording stuff. I actually use an iPhone 6, and the problem with that is the only size I could get, the only one that was available on my carrier, was a 16 gigabyte. So recording videos has been trouble in and of itself, but now, man, trying to record a video that's longer than 15 minutes long is virtually impossible. So, I think I have a solution, and hopefully I'm going to be able to rectify that today. It is about 5 o'clock, December 31st, and basically I'm going to have to hope that I can edit together a lot of different videos on my computer and get it uploaded and everything before the day's end. So this should be rather fun. I'm really sorry this video took so long to get out. Again, I moved. That's not an excuse, but I tried to get this done several times, and I got extremely frustrated when I had all of the stuff cut out on my desk, and I've shot the video 3 different times, and every single time something went wrong. And then after that, I said I'd get it up and done Monday because I had an idea, and I came down sick with a cough that I still have. I know it doesn't seem like it, but that's because I've already had to restart this video 3 times because of it. That will be pretty easy to manage in this video because I'm going to be using lots of jump cuts, but holy crap, 2015. I made the joke last year, or well, this year, no, it was last year, on the Nerf New Year's resolution posts on the Nerf subreddit on, well, Reddit, and I joked that I wanted to finish the Sling WinRAR, which I did, and I also joked about getting 10,000 subs on YouTube, which at the time I don't even think I had 200. And yet, again, 7,600 plus. It is absolutely mind-blowing. And I didn't even take this seriously until, like, July. That's the funny part. I probably could have hit my goal, but to even come this close, I could have said lose 100 pounds, something ridiculous like that, equally as ridiculous, and wouldn't have even come close, and yet this is a thing that exists. Well then, it's time to get one last thing off my back before the new year, and that is to answer everybody's questions that have been coming up for quite some time. Let's get started. I am Bob O asks, why don't you have a Facebook? I want to be able to talk to you more easily, and you not having one is lame and dumb, and I hate you. I do have Facebook. I got one specifically for you, and I hate Facebook with every fiber of my being. Favorite food? Sushi. Would eat it every day of the week if I could. Favorite drink? I'm going to go with iced tea. If it's a soda, it's like ginger ale. And if it's like alcohol, a hard cider or Kraken black rum or even just Coors Light, I'm not picky. Favorite place I visited? Toronto, Canada. It was a gigantic city, and I loved every second of it. Favorite place to whack one off? Your closet. By the way, you might want to clean up that Maverick shell you have laying in there. It's starting to get a little full. Favorite color? Pink. I love pink. Pink's my favorite color. Favorite movie? Kung Pao Enter the Fist. I quote it far too much for it to not be my favorite movie of all time. Favorite blaster? The Jolt. The Jolt is amazing. It is one of the coolest little blasters I have ever had, and everybody should own one. They're tiny, and they're powerful for how big they are. Love it. Least favorite blaster? I'm going to have to go with something like the Elite Alpha Trooper. Everybody loves it, and I've even had it, and I modded it, and it sounded like crunch, and it's not a very, very fun blaster compared to like a Rampage. I think the Rampage is better in every way, but that's sacrilegious. Everybody wants an Elite Alpha Trooper, and they're not that good. Blaster you think is vastly overrated? Well, if it's not the Elite Alpha Trooper, it's the flippin' Hammer Shot. Everybody loves this blaster for some reason, and their reasons for loving it are usually as arbitrary as hell. It's not the best blaster ever, but people hail it as it is, and I am flippin' tired of it. Honestly, I hate the Hammer Shot now because of how much of a fanboy Fanboyism, it carries. There we go. Why don't you have a Facebook? I do have a Facebook, and I hate it. Your answer isn't good enough. Okay. Favorite non-Nerf YouTube channel? Probably Forgotten Weapons. Learned a lot off that channel and seen a lot of cool things that have given me a lot of ideas for a lot of blasters. Highly recommended. Nathan Brenner asks, flywheel or stringer? Well, obviously I really like the crossbolt, so stringers are very much in tune with me. But, well, flywheels are definitely really, really powerful, and they're probably the best neither here nor there. The fact that you didn't include air power upsets me, because I would have chosen air power, but yeah, probably springers. They're just fun to mod, they're fun to work with, in my opinion. I like them a lot more. Extreme Kangaroo asks, favorite alternative ammo besides darts? Discs. While rifle rounds are really cool and all, discs have been my love for quite some time. They are so much fun to use, and if you get good with them, you can pretty much put them around corners exactly where you want them. Plus, if you've never shot them in the corner of a room and had them bounce and come back to you, you don't know what you're missing. Discs all the way. Please bring them back, Hasbro. Krusty Gaming asks, if a train leaves the station at 2:30, non-specified time, and gets back at 5, again non-specified, then how much does an elephant weigh? African or Asian elephant? This is a very important question because they are massively different elephants. Fatty Axes 21 asks, what is my favorite Netflix gun and please modify it? Anybody remember the AOL disc launcher? That's all I can think about when I hear Netflix gun. Muffin Toast 1 asks, please explain why the Deploy is the best blaster. You know it is. You will always know it's the best. Hashtag Deploy Master Race. Well, the Deploy is a lot of fun. I searched for it on high and low for quite some time, and I finally got one. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. You press a button, it flips open, you feel super tactical when you do it, and then you realize its range is poop. There's really no good way to modify it unless you're psych, and yeah, it's cool. Flashlight requires batteries and isn't that bright, but hey, it's kind of cool. Hi! Asks, do you remember me from the last video's comments? My name in it was Justin Breyer. I don't, because that was months ago. Dude asks, what do you do besides Nerf? Well, I play video games, I paint stuff, I like to build gunpla, I do off-roading because I own a Jeep. A lot of things, I would say, although not all of them come directly off my head. Sometimes I just sit there and like read on the internet. I'm literally that boring sometimes. Lightning Eagle 14 asks, which presidential candidate do you think would win the election? Also, what was the best Nerf battle you've ever had and why? Well, I kind of hope Donald Trump wins. Not because I have any ties with any frickin' anything that has to do with politics, but because he's hilarious and everybody doesn't want him to be elected. So, honestly, I think it would be hilarious. That's my only reason. And what was the best Nerf battle I've ever had? Definitely one of the times I went to Dart Wars with the shield, and I actually made one of the blowgunners throw his blowgun, because I had the shield and was, you know, blocking shots with it and getting up close to him and taking him out with a Magnus, and he literally threw his blowgun and walked out and drove away. It was amazing. Tropius Productions asks, what is your best mod ever? Man, I'm glad I waited this long to answer this question because it is clearly the Berserk Long Strike. I love this thing. I love it so much. It is the best blaster ever. Next to the Boomco Break Flip. Tarnished Silver asks, I came here for Sands. Where's the Sands? You know, I had a really funny joke for this one back when I was originally recording this, where I would turn the camera around and I would say okay. But I left the Sands mask in Boise. If you look at my update video 5, where it was sitting up there, Yeah, I left it there. Completely forgot about it. I don't know how. I was tired, had like 2 days to pack. And I'm kind of upset I did. Hopefully my roommate gets it back to me. I'm really hoping he does. Jake Rioln asks, how many blasters have you reviewed? I don't know. Count them. Joshua Marty, or PandaJam7, asks, can I have the pizza boss B0 os? Somebody escort Jar Jar out of here, please. Live Life 441 asks, where are you from? Originally I'm from Washington, then I went to Idaho, now I'm back in Washington, in a different part of Washington I might add. Where's my Colossal Blitz mod guide? That thing is probably not going to get modded because I don't want to ruin it, and it looks like it's not going to be much overvolted mod going. Buff Daddy Nerf had some decent luck with it, but I'm pretty sure it will destroy itself if you mod it too much, so those rubber flywheels and the fact that it's driving 4 flywheels with only 2 motors doesn't lead itself good to any kind of overvolting your mods. Besides, it's pretty good already. But hey, if somebody does mod it, let me know, and I'll completely copy them. In your opinion, who is your favorite modder on YouTube? Obviously Bobololo, that's not even a question. God, I just wish he watched my videos. Super Doom 31 asks, potato with carrots! And let's go with potato, because you can make a lot of things that are delicious out of potatoes. Zachary W asks, favorite gun and secondary? I can only assume you're talking about Nerf, and I've already said what my favorite gun is. But I mean, if I had to choose a primary, it would indeed be the Berserk Long Strike, and a secondary to go with that would be a very good shotgun. Can't go wrong with a shotgun secondary. Garrett Bob Sharp asks, what's your favorite pastime besides Nerf? Probably gaming or gunpla building. One of the two. Ilarion Unharion, I probably butchered that, asks, will you show your face ever? I will when it's pertinent. I'm not going to show my face for the sake of showing my face. Stop asking. It's not like my face is the frickin' point of this channel. I'm not showing up on camera in a mask to hide my face. I'm not in front of the camera. When I'm in front of the goddamn camera, I will show my face! Arash Hussein, I guess, asks, will you ever come to the Riyadh Nerf Club? I don't know what that is or where that is. And how do you feel about the Thunderbow? It's fun. It's super fun. It's not really like my kind of blaster. What is your favorite primary, secondary, and backup weapon? Thanks. Already answered that, unfortunately. I mean, I guess backup would always be the Jolt. There we go. Ryan Parhezi asks, what is the best Nerf gun in the Zombie Strike line? That's a tough one. It's honestly probably the Fuse Fire, of course. God, you were expecting Hammer Shot, but no, it's a Fuse Fire. Fuse Fire any day of the week. Dapstart Animations asks, how many cows do you own? Technically, I own 0, but my wife owns 1. It's in a video. M. Barrett asks, is the Boomco Burst Wave a good starter Boomco gun? What would you recommend? The Burst Wave, probably not so much. I would always recommend getting a Rapid Madness because they're awesome and they're usually on sale somewhere. If you've done nothing with Boomco in the past, probably look at getting just a Far Shot and test the waters. But yeah, I really like the Rapid Madness. If you can get it for under 25 bucks, it's a solid blaster. The Mysterious Nerfer asks, tacos or burritos? And, well, it's obviously burritos, because burritos encompass a large variety of food, in my opinion, and they're always the best. J. Alfred Vlogs asks, hi, how old are you? Plus, please leave a link to my YouTube channel. Well, I'm not leaving a link, but I'll read your comment. As for how old I am in my mid-20s. Devin Rochelle asks, what camera do you use? I use an iPhone 6, and it is the bane of my frickin' existence! Pigfish99 asks, how long did it take for you to make that Sans mask? Are you tired to the bone? It took me like 6 or 7 hours, and yeah, it was pretty time-consuming. A lot of sanding, and honestly, I rushed it. It wasn't even as pretty as I could have made it. But, man, I love that mask. I really hope I get it back. Ashley Cheryl asks, how long have you been nerfing? I've been nerfing since before Dart Tag was around. I think the newest blaster that was out when I first started nerfing was the Barricade. And it was a beautiful blaster, and I loved it very, very much. I mean, yeah, you've had Nerf guns as a kid, but when I really started nerfing was, again, when the Barricade was a new thing. Adam Rabid Beaver Bear Del Toro asks, do you believe in aliens? Well, it's kind of funny, because if you've ever, like, listened to the Red Dwarf audiobooks or something, there's no, humanity wastes all of its time trying to find aliens only to find out they're alone in the universe. And while that would be a hilarious thing to come across, we're probably not alone. Baden Rosales asks, why did you start a YouTube channel and how did you get into Nerf? Well, originally I started the YouTube channel to produce videos of a Korean shooter that I really, really liked that you couldn't really find footage for online when it came out, and I was lucky enough to get into playing it. And it's still one of my favorite games before it was completely destroyed by Pentavision selling themselves out. But the real reason I started Nerf stuff was because I was kind of tired of a lot of the big guys messing stuff up and degrading really good blasters because they just didn't like them. And I figured that wasn't fair to the blasters and the people who did like them, so I tried to make my channel to be somewhat of a contrarian to them. Not on purpose, I just happen to like things and find the silver lining in things that other people just don't happen to like. And how did I get into Nerf? I think every kid in the 90s is into Nerf in some fashion. I mean, it shoots foam darts, you can shoot them inside, and when I really got into Nerf was when I started modifying them, and then I played Blacklight Retribution, and I was like, oh my gosh, I want to make my own blaster, and I can do that with Nerf. I can make my own barrel and grip and cut them up and make all sorts of crazy stuff. And so I did, and it was awesome. David Kim asks, you do Gundam? No, David. I am Gundam. Armand Kaloti. I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name, but I'm American, and we happen to be stupid when it comes to that. Can you do a giveaway? If so, can it be a raffle? I will be doing giveaways, obviously, but right now things are pretty volatile for me to just jump out and do that, so the goal I have set to do a giveaway is far enough to where by the time I'm there, not only can it be something special, but I'll obviously be in the state of mind to be able to actually do, well, not state of mind, but state of living to where I can actually do one. Stephen Lay, SLE, asks, hey, do you do commissions or mod something for sale? I don't at the moment because I'm not sure what to sell my work for. And I'm not saying I won't in the future, but right now I'm not really looking forward to it. The best way for me to like actually sell something would be something like, hey, if you make me this, I'll pay you that. And if I think that's a good amount, I'll probably do it. But again, I'm not making any promises. Nathan Kinsky? I don't know. What is the most you've spent on a dart blaster? Including mods, probably the Sling Winrar, because that was 3 sling fires, a crap load of epoxy, and a lot of screws and a lot of things I didn't own before I started doing it that I needed. And that was a pretty expensive blaster to make. If you were talking about just normal blasters, probably obviously the Dart Explosion or the Colossal Blitz. Aaron Castro asks, will you be playing Minecraft? Play Minecraft quite frequently, and yet I don't really have a good way to stream from my computer, so honestly, I don't know if I'll stream it, but I do play it sometimes. There's a lot of games I need to play right now, though. Ethan Dickman asks, best all-around Nerf gun? If it has to be Nerf, I'm probably going to say something like the Strife, because it's pretty much the jack of all trades. But if it can be any blaster in the Nerf umbrella, it's going to be the Break Flip. Is definitely a really, really nice blaster that can do a whole lot of things. Gaming Block asks, are you married? Technically, no. Emotionally, yes I am. We've been together for quite some time, and that's not looking to change at any time, so yeah, basically I am. Deathwing asks, if you could bring one blaster to HVZ, which one would it be? Well, it would clearly be the Rapid Madness. I don't know why you'd use anything other than the Rapid Madness. Battlefield 10 asks, will you do a mod tutorial series? I'll do mod tutorials sometimes. I mean, depends on what mod I'm doing. If it's not something you can easily find a mod guide for, or if it's something I came up with, I will do a guide for it. Most of the time, my mods are simple enough that I can just show it to you and then you would understand. But stuff like the Snapfire mod guide, I hadn't really seen anybody do that, and it was an excellent mod. I mean, obviously, I got the mod idea from Buff Daddy Nerf, so... But there wasn't really mod guide videos for the Snapfire that were any good, unless somebody else has done one and they didn't give credit to Buff Daddy Nerf while completely ripping him off. Malik Arj asks, do you Nerf bro? I do indeed. ENGX asks, what is your favorite up-and-coming blaster? An interesting question, because there really isn't many blasters revealed to be coming out right now. I honestly can't really think of any that are supposed to be coming out that aren't out now. We just got the beautiful yet flawed Recon Mark II and the Ion Fire. And Nerf apparently isn't going to the London Toy Fair this year, so it might actually be hard to see what blasters are coming out for right now. We'll have to wait to see if any kind of pop up. Kai Pulsinelli asks a lot of things I've already answered, but they ask, what blaster do I have the most of? Well, if you don't count the Jolt, the most I have the one I have the most of, the most I have the most of is the Vigilon. I have 8 of them, for whatever reason. Nicholas McComb asks, what blaster do you want to see from Hasbro in the future? Be as specific as you can want. And what made you start nerfing? Already answered the last part, but the first part, I would love to see a internal 5-shot magazine, like tube-fed, lever action sledge fire. Please, Hasbro, something that uses the sledge fire shells that is an internal magazine. Please make it happen. Even if it's a pump action, I won't care. Just make it happen. Arnie Burchianti asks, how can I paint moving parts? Very, very thin layers of paint, and use very, very little paint as possible. That is your best bet. You really don't want to paint moving parts. If you could avoid it, don't. But like a trigger or something, you can paint those. Just use very, very thin layers of paint. Calio180 asks, what's my favorite Springer? Probably the Strong Arm. That's a really, really fun blaster to use. I kind of covered that in my my Rebel Guardian crossbow video, but that thing can just unload darts like none other. Ethan Crowell says, I made a compressed mag strike like Bobo did. I'm worried about the compressor exploding. Is there anything I can do? Well, I'm not Bobo. I haven't done a compressor mag strike, but... well, the compressor itself shouldn't actually explode unless you make it run for a very, very long time. If it starts getting hot, be worried. That being said, if you were to like kind of fortify around, not the moving part, not like the piston, but around like where it builds up pressure, you can minimize any kind of damage that would happen to you. Problem with doing something like that is it can increase the heat, so... honestly, just don't use a cheap compressor, I guess would be your best bet. I'm not really an expert on this kind of thing, though. Aaron A. asks, do I paint a lot of Gundams? I need to, is the answer to that question. I got this airbrush and all these paints, and I really need to start painting more Gundams. Elon Belkin asks, how are you so good at dual integrations, and will you ever do a Manto or an Overkill project I've made of like 7 or less blasters? Funny you should bring this up, because I did make the Alpha Strike, which was 3 blasters that shot 4 different kinds of darts. I'm quite proud of that one. I'm not exactly good at them. I think Bobo's the king of integrations as far as that's concerned. But, man, I do try, that's for sure. A Manta Blaster has been on my list for quite some time, although I haven't found the perfect one yet. Flogger Games says, hey man, I just wanted to say that I love your videos and I really appreciate what you do. You have a different view on everything than the big guys like Coop and Drac and Nerfboy, and I really respect that. Sorry for no occasion, but maybe if you see it, just let me know. There's a question. I saw it. No Eye Bob asks, AT2K or Crossbow? AT2K standing for AirTech 2000. AirTech 2000 tanks are kind of small, but they pack a lot of punch. Honestly, an AirTech 3000 tank would be better, but still, I prefer air power to any kind of Springer most of the time, because they're so much fun to modify, and you can actually move like where the power and the trigger and stuff are. So I'm going to go with the AT2K. Preston Guy asks, what is your favorite class for Nerf Wars? I really like Genular's Nerf Situation Room. That's a really good class. Oh, you mean like a video game class. Probably support Shield Guy. There we go. That's always fun to play. Seriously, if you've never been able to use like just a shield to protect other people and hand out darts and secure objectives in a Nerf war, you're missing out. It is so much fun to like run over and block darts and move forward with somebody or multiple people behind you and be blocking darts and swatting darts out of the air with a shield. Oh my gosh, it's so much fun. Wordy Bozo 3BG asks, why don't I like Drac? Well, the simple answer is that he frickin' disgraced my beloved Fusefire with a video that was absolute crap. He didn't know how the blaster works, and he gave a whole bunch of people the wrong impression of the blaster. And I am very upset about that. The actual reason is far worse than that, but we won't go into detail. Teddy Nation asks, favorite Nerf Rebel blaster? The Guardian Crossbow! I absolutely love that thing, and it's like my favorite blaster ever now! Gregor Road Hutskers Scores asks, what is your favorite gear for a long Nerf war? My shield, because my shield carries all of my gear, and I can use it to pass blasters out to people and defend people, and again, using a shield in a Nerf war is so much fun. I don't mean fun as in, I got a shield and a rapid strike with 3 dozen 18-round magazines, I'm gonna go dominate everybody, her! No, I mean like actually using it as a shield user. Like defending objectives and people and helping support. It's so much fun. You can't really do that in a Nerf war, and it's a crime. Goo Photo Hui? Oh god. What is your favorite Nerf mod, including mods from other channels? The Panther Shotgun. Should be everybody's favorite mod. Awesome Austin 05 asks, what is your favorite series? Mega, Elite, Zombie Strike, Super Soaker, etc. I'm a big fan of Dart Tag, obviously. Quick 16, Speedload 6 are my bread and butter. I love those blasters. Legend Assassin asks, are you ever going to buy a Nerf blaster? Are you frickin' kidding me? Kyle Towney asks, can you make a paint tutorial once you move? Once I get good at it, yes. Etan343 Nerf en Espanol asks, what is your most powerful Nerf blaster? Please, Walcom, answer my cue. I love you. Aww. Most powerful Nerf blaster is a Titan, or as I like to call the one that I made, a Titan Maverick. I called it the Jaeger. One person got that reference, and I appreciate you. But yeah, the Jaeger was the most powerful Nerf blaster I have ever used. It would chip concrete walls with a frickin' Buzzbee sticky, and it was accurate, and it was deadly, and it had an RSCB magazine, so I could shoot like 5 darts without having to actually reload, and man, that was fun. Plus, sometimes it acted like a shotgun. Evan Nerfin Stuff asks, are there any old blasters you want to be seen remade in the Modulus line, the same way the Recon V2 is coming out? Anything from the Dart Tag line, please, Hasbro. Please! I'll take a Snapfire 8, I'll take a Quick 16, and I'll even take a Sharp Shot, just make something really cool. Brennan Fluette asks, what do you think of the Twisted Spinner? A vastly underrated and very, very good blaster. In fact, with some light modifications, it's really good. Yeah, stock, it's kind of poopy because it kills itself, but lightly modified, and I do mean lightly, it is an absolute powerhouse. The Nerd Operator asks, who inspired you to start modding? What was the first blaster you modified? Bobo was really the one that got me into modding more because of the beautiful Panther shotguns and whatnot. The first blaster I ever really modified was probably the Fire Strike. I did kind of modify, I mean, everybody modifies a Maverick, but the one I actually like opened up and made shoot way better and I was really proud of was the Fire Strike. A very, very good blaster to start with. A Noisy Nutella Fish asks, what mod are you most ashamed of? Besides the Acute Blaze, because that's a half-baked, unfinished mod, I'd have to go with the Rampage Quick 16. I'm really upset I wasted so much money and time on something that did not pan out. I really want to get it done right. It needs to be done. Matthew Niamond asks, what gun do you? What gun do you? Baka Nerf 04 asks, do you think cardboard is something good to shoot with Nerf guns? Please answer in Q&A, I'm special. Yes, it's actually one of the best materials to shoot with a Nerf dart because you can visibly see any kind of indents, you aren't doing any damage to actual property, and if it goes through the cardboard, you know it's going to hurt like hell. B Nike Swag 75 asks, do you think that the Strife is the best gun? No. If not, why? Because the Rapid Strike's a thing. Or why that over the Demolisher, KMECS, or other semi-auto. Semi-auto's not bad, but yeah, the Strife's the best when it comes to semi-auto flywheels. I mean, I would argue maybe the Barricade or the Stockade have an edge there too. They don't have swappable magazines, but they are turrets that are easily filled. But yeah, I'd say probably the Rapid Strike's the end-all when it comes to frickin' flywheelers. Dakota Esp asks, who is the person you are most likely to assassinate in the future and why? Well, see, I can't exactly tell you because then that person would be able to protect against it. Sai Thompson asks, have you ever had sex? Of course I have. How do you think you were brought into this world? Redneck Nerf asks, are you going to do some Fallout 4 videos? Videos, no. Streams, always. If that's what you guys want to see, that's what I will stream. I've been playing it a little bit more than normal, but I still don't have hundreds of hours into it like some people. And honestly, I still haven't even made it to Diamond City. I'm too busy exploring. The MGS Fan 141 asks, when are you going to talk about the Sans helmet? I have. It's a mask I made for Halloween because I wanted to be Sans, and thus it was made, and I did it, and it was fun. And then I left it in my old house, and hopefully I get it back. Moltas Carlberg asks, what kind of car do you have, or what kind of car do you want? Myself, I have a Volvo 745 and want a Volvo P1800. Well, I've got a 1990 Jeep Wrangler YJ. I would like the same car with lots of money dumped into it, and Volvos are pretty cool. Chuck Marshall asks, did you go to college? I did, in fact, although I did not finish. I was about 11 credits away from graduating, and then I moved. So, I need to go back. Chibi Terasu, Child of the Sun, asks, can you pronounce my name? I believe I just did. Chibi Terasu. Yeah, should be fine. Jamie Craft 3000 asks, what is your fave most practical combo you can think of? Probably the Berserk Long Strike and two 25 round drummed Rapid Strike Uzis. There we go. I know I said dual wielding isn't practical, but in that situation I just want to spray. If I have to use one of those, I would want to spray as many darts as possible. In hindsight, I could just use any kind of shotgun. Camsturk104 asks, what is the Nerf mod that you really want to do but don't have the resources / money to do it? It could be anything like a super integration or whatever. A Panther shotgun, but I've never had an original Panther. I've bought so many Panthers and never gotten an original. Never! Daniel Tanner asks, what music do you like? I like a lot of music, but it doesn't exactly make it good music. I mean, I listen to a lot of stuff, mostly video game OSTs, although I do listen to a lot of Asian stuff as well. And a lot of classic rock. I kind of like everything as long as it sounds good. I'm not a fan of rap or hip-hop with a lot of expletives or subject matter, which is obviously just trash. Sorry. Luke Graham asks, what is your worst fear? Syringes. I cannot stand syringes. That is the easiest way to kill someone. And I just don't ever want to think about it. Jakester XT4 asks, what is the meaning of life? Well, the obvious answer to that is jolts. Clippy Plays asks, do you want to play Monster Hunter with me? I'm a bit hunted out. I have been playing it quite a bit, and honestly, I don't know if I can really slog through G rank anymore. It's not fun to play G rank by yourself at all, and I'm kind of just tired of playing it right now. I'd love to play some Freedom Wars, though. I need to get back into that, because I never got to finish that game. Mott2296 asks, would you ever fight in a Nerf war with only 100 jolts at your side? I mean, as your weapon. Like a pirate in a sea battle, having more than 6 pistols strapped around his body. I would love to. In fact, I've done that before with the shield and about 7 jolts located inside of it, and it was glorious. Monkwazy Mods asks, what is your most commonly used primary? It is definitely either the Jaeger or probably the Rapid Madness were my two go-to. I used a lot of pistols as well, so the Magnus and the Fuse Fire were definitely two I used as primaries. Nerds with Knuckles asks, do you enjoy playing with Nerf guns and also making videos on them? Of course, that's why I'm doing it. Random question, what is your favorite cartoon? I assume you mean Western cartoon, and I'm probably going to have to go with something like the Animaniacs or Freakazoid. Both by the same director, if I'm not mistaken, but both of them are incredible shows. Absolutely incredible shows. They have well stood the test of time. James Bondy Bond asks, are you in Colorado? No. Maximilian Nguyen, sure. What is your favorite Gundam and your favorite Metal Gear game? Favorite Gundam would have to be Exia, GN001 Exia. Very, very big fan of Exia. A lot of people are. I think a lot of people dug Exia. My favorite Metal Gear game, I'm going to be a total hipster and say Ghost Babel for the Game Boy Color. A very, very, very good Metal Gear game. Tommy Does Nerf asks, do you like Lenny? I have no idea who that is. Sheriff Bones asks, what is the coolest animal combination you can think of? I would like like a dove crossed with a long-eared jerboa. A flying long-eared jerboa. There we go. That's totally not the first thing that came to my mind, honest. And least favorite place to whack it off? The shower. Why do people like the shower? I can't... Water is not a good lubricant. Ugh. Alex Green asks, why do you sound a lot like my friends I play League of Legends with? I don't know, but League of Legends is a trash game because Flash is still a thing. Aiden McNeil asks, if you manage to get your hands on Fallout 4, how fucking kick-ass is it on a scale of 1 to 10? It's a solid 7. Santa Cruz Nerf Club asks, why are people on YouTube so stupid and unwilling to do research? Because it's YouTube. Most of you are underage. What is your opinion on a universal Nerf community with a way to standardize things so you can be ranked online with peeps all over? What? Okay, no, that would never happen. That sounds like Beyblade Burst. I don't know how that even works, but I assume it's based on the honor system, and that's just dumb as hell. What is your opinion on pro play at modded Nerf ages? It's a good hobby to get into. I mean, like, little kids, I mean, as long as they're okay with like 13-year-olds, 14-year-olds that can use tools. I mean, there's shop classes in middle and high school, so Nerf is a really good one to get out that creativity with something that isn't wood or metal. And what is your opinion on Nerf clubs? Very good. Nerf clubs are excellent. Anything that spreads the hobby is excellent, as long as the club leader isn't a douche nozzle. Faster asks, what do you think Boomco should do to gain more credibility in the Nerf scene? Continue what they've been doing for the last 8 months. Also, what would you like to see in Hasbro or Mattel release in the future? Mattel, I'd like to see a Boomco sniper, something that hits the longest distances they possibly could with their straw darts. And Hasbro, I'd like to see more internal magazines, and maybe even the revolution of bringing back air blasters, like the AirTech line, please. And I'm sorry this Q&A takes so long to come out. Muhammad Haider, do you watch anime? And if you do, which ones? I do watch some anime. Admittedly, the wife is a far, far more avid watcher of anime than me. But I do right now. I'm watching Iron-Blooded Orphans and Log Horizon. I haven't finished Log Horizon yet. I really, really should. And Iron-Blooded Orphans, I've been watching every episode as they come out, and it is so good. Rhett Paper asks, do you eat ass? Every once in a while. Halo Coder Games asks, what is your favorite Boomco blaster? Definitely the Burst Wave. My god, is that thing fun. Unlike Cracker asks, what got you into Nerf? Already answered that. Where does your YouTube name come from? Very, very good question. It came from a game called Guns the Duel, which is an old PC shooter. Walcom was a manufacturer in that game, and the Walcom S7 was the highest level SMGs that you could buy. They were absolutely awesome. And any reason you don't show your face? Because I'm on the other side of the camera. Favorite modern and vintage blaster? Favorite modern one's probably the crossbolt. Favorite vintage one's probably something like the secret shot. It's so cool. Or a split fire. I'd really like a split fire. First Nerf mod answered that. Does your day job help with Nerf? Like, are you a mechanic or a computer tech? I was a phone repair tech. Now I'm not, but that kind of helped, yeah. What made you want to make a YouTube channel for Nerf mods? Kind of already answered that, but I really wanted to fix some things that were going on in the YouTube community, and it's good to have another voice out there because the bigger voices aren't exactly very good. And you can call me Uncle Cracker Evan Typo when I made the account. Good job, buddy. James Fenney asks, are you ever coming to Australia? That would be an expensive trip, and honestly, Australia scares the shit out of me because of all the things there that want to kill me. But people obviously live there, so it can't be too bad, and I actually would love to visit Australia, obviously, at some point in my life. Hopefully sooner than later. MJ Fan Guardian asks, favorite blaster? Already answered. Favorite modder? Already answered. Favorite Nerf channel? Already added. Favorite color? Already answered. Favorite ice cream flavor? Cookie dough. How did I get into Nerf? Already answered. Kevin Zalowski asks, could you explain what Dart Wars is and how to play it? Dart Wars is an indoor Nerf arena. You go there, pay money, take off your shoes, put on glasses, wear a team banner on your arm or on your head or on a vest, and then you go into battle. They supply the darts and you bring the blasters, or if you don't have a blaster, they'll give you a blaster. And they have a variety of game modes, and honestly, it's not very fun anymore. I couldn't even stomach to go back. Frisky Business asks, do you like Undertale? Because that mask looks like Sans from Undertale. Yes, I like Undertale. I think it's a phenomenal game, and I couldn't sing its praises enough, but my god is the fan base probably the worst I've ever seen in anything ever. I'm almost ashamed that I like this game. Super Sick Lad asks, favorite COD? Black Ops 2. Favorite blaster for a war, modded? My Berserk Long Strike, obviously. Favorite Mega Blaster? That's a hard cross-up between either the Magnus or the Cyclone Shock. They're both really fun. Favorite Elite Blaster? I'm going to go with the Raven on this one. I really like the Raven. It doesn't get enough love. Favorite Rebel Blaster? Answered. And Strike Blaster? The Jolt. And finally, favorite YouTuber? That's a really hard question. I don't know if I have an absolute favorite YouTuber. Is there anybody, like, I don't even know. I honestly don't know. Bobololo, there we go. Maxwell Roca asks, I want to start Nerf modding. Where should I start? Man, I'm sorry, this is over 2 months ago. Well, you should probably start with like a Fire Strike because they're direct plungered and they're really easy to work with. And if you lose a spring or something, they're pretty easy to get replacement for. So yeah, I'm going to recommend you start with the Fire Strike. It's been my bread and butter for quite some time. And, well, that's what I started with. Jarek Chu asks, if you were cursed and could never say one letter in the alphabet ever again, which letter would that be? X. Because I can make the X sound with a lot of other things, so I think I'm okay. Hawkmoon asks, do you do commissions? I do not. If so, how much? I don't. Why do you seem to prefer Boomco? Because the darts are so much better. It's not even a fair comparison. Have you dual-wielded brake flips at an event? Not yet. And do you love me? I do love you, Hawkmoon. Bubba Lolo was with me the day I pulled you out of that chest in the Vault of Glass. My god, were you glorious. You have slain so many noobs. Andrew Carrick asks, have you ever played any console games, and if so, what console? I've played tons of console games and have played pretty much every console. Death by Speakers asks, have you ever considered making an entirely custom blaster? I assume you mean a homemade, and yes, I've tried to make them, but I never really had the tools. Lately, I've gotten better tools, so maybe I should give it another shot. What about creating photo paper shield for Dart Wars? I kind of did. If you saw my target with the Fallout, the Vault Boy mask on it, that is entirely made out of Boomco material. It will, in fact, block Boomco darts, so yeah, I kind of did. It wasn't photo paper, but it was pretty close. Asig Brogita, gosh. What's your favorite band, singer, musical artist? Right now, I really like Man with a Mission. They've been on my mind quite a bit lately. What's your favorite video game series? DJ Max. So, I mean, if I were to include DJ Max, then probably Planet Boom is actually my favorite band, singer, musical artist. But yeah, DJ Max is my favorite series of all time. I could play them forever. Senpai Reaver asks, what is your most recommended blaster and your least recommended ones? Most recommended blasters are anything that are pretty good out of the box that generally don't require magazines, because if you go out and buy something with a magazine, then you need to get more magazines. It's kind of annoying. Scavenging blasters work just the same, so while they can't do quick reloads, they're still not bad at any means. I mean, you can top them up as you go on. So my least recommended ones are definitely like flywheelers that require batteries and overhauling and Fireheart of the blog asks, hey man, awesome videos, you're my favorite blaster channel. Why, thank you. What do you think if someone wanted to convert most of their blasters to shoot Boomco ammo? That would be incredibly difficult. And how would they even go about that? 7/16 brass is what you want to use as a barrel material for Boomco. There's also like, I think 13mm aluminum or something, like, I don't remember, but 7/16 brass is what I use. Works fine, honestly. That will shoot pretty much any dart you want to, and it will work for pretty much any turreted or front-loading blaster you can make shoot Boomco. Other than that, not too much. Aries 12,893 asks, do you want to have a bad time? Just kidding. Actual question. Opinions on the FVJ/FVJ5s and Koosh darts? Are they worth it for the sheer volume of darts, or should I stick to elites even though I've been told they're trash? Elite darts are trash. They are the reason why I don't like Nerf all that much. FVJs and Koosh darts are far superior as long as you get a good seller for them. So make sure you check the seller beforehand. There's a good list for that up on the Nerf subreddit, so use that if you're looking for buying any kind of darts like that. Not to mention they're far cheaper. They're better and they're cheaper. Why wouldn't you use them? David Clank asks, do you ever think another toy gun company could get to the same level of performance as Nerf is right now? Buzzbee, Boomco, etc. Why or why not? And if so, what guns perform on that level of performance? Thanks. Actually, both Buzzbee and Boomco have surpassed Nerf at this point as far as I'm concerned. Just because Boomco guns don't hit the same muzzle velocity as Nerf doesn't mean they don't hit the same distance. Muzzle velocity and distance are two different things. Boomco darts are far superior to Nerf darts. They're far smaller, they're far denser, and they're far more stable in flight. So they hit the same ranges. Maybe not flat, but even then I'd argue they'd hit the same distance flat. So, As for Buzzbee, they actually have larger range claims than Nerf for the most part. Or even the same. I mean, most of theirs hit 72 feet and actually hit higher than that. So, I mean, you could go out and buy like a frickin' Buzzbee. Like, all the crazy stuff they've been putting out recently, all their new blue blasters, they're all really good for distance anyways. Quality-wise, not so much, but that's the point I'm trying to make. They're all very good. They're just as good as Nerf right now. Alex Wants to Know asks, how hard is it to modify a Nerf gun? Well, it depends on the Nerf gun. It can be as easy as just unscrewing a couple of screws and swapping out a spring to completely disassembling a blaster, removing locks, rewiring it, replacing batteries with lipos, rebarreling it, making new breeches. It can get pretty crazy if you want it to. Raging Froky asks, have you ever been dunked on before? Seriously though, what are some of your favorite video games? I like a lot of video games. It's really hard to choose some favorites. I mean, I've got Call of Duties, I've got Ease, I've got DJ Max, I've got frickin' Everybody's Golf for Hot Shots Golf, and there's a lot of games I really like. It's so hard for me to choose. I play virtually everything, so. John Richardson asks, do you think that Boomco could ever come anywhere close as being as popular as Nerf in the modding scene? Probably not, because they keep using pins to glue their blasters together so you can't take them apart, and then pinning the plunger heads because they know we want to put different springs in there. I don't know what it is with Mattel, but they do not want you opening and modifying their blasters. It's kind of sad, really. Connor Toleke asks, will or when you get an Instagram? I don't really see the point of getting an Instagram, but a lot of people have been asking me that recently, and I'm kind of curious as to why. Ash Class asks, can I live with you? Yeah, if you pay rent. Mr. Pants asks, first Nerf blaster. I believe it was one of the later designs of the Supermax 1500. The kind that had the pump in the front and not on the bottom, and the 4 turrets and the green pipes, and it was kind of weird, but yeah, that's the earliest one I remember. Jarek Chu asks, would you rather have teeth for pubic hair or pubic hair for teeth? I guess I'd have to go with teeth for pubic hair. I don't know. That seems like a lose-lose situation either way. Clippy Plays asks, do you think that the Doomlands Longbringer with a hammer shot upgrade kit will get good ranges? It'll get okay ranges. Jack Waters asks, can you read this at the end of the video? Yeah, I can. That's the end of this one. I want to thank you all for your patience and your persistence in begging me to finish this video. Otherwise, I might not have, because it was incredibly hard to do. The hardest video I have done. I would rather make 4 more acute blazes than try to do this video again. Trying to record with this thing is just a pain in the dick. But it is done, and that is my thank you gift to you all. If I didn't answer your question, you either answered... It was answered by another person who asked the same thing, and they just happened to be on that list before you, or you asked a lot of questions and they were all stuff, and I'm sorry, I couldn't answer every single one. I really did try, but if you feel I truly missed something, go ahead and drop it in the comment box below and I will reply to it. But other than that, I want to thank you, and I want to wish you a happy 2016, and, well, next time, something completely different. But make sure you set those goals for yourself for the year, because... man, I did, and I almost hit it, so that's got to tell you something. God, what am I going to do for 2016? Huh. But until then, I'll be seeing ya.